you might want to sit down for this one. So this is your disclaimer that my objective with today's video is not to be a source of entertainment, but it is to hopefully open your eyes. So if you've had a bad day and you're not in the mood for a deeply philosophical conversation, totally get it and will not be sad if you click off the video right now. For everyone else that's still here, let's crack on. So you've all probably heard the phrase, when is enough enough? And I want you to keep that phrase in mind because that is the cornerstone of today's video. So when you ask people what they want from life, they will typically tell you one of two answers. Either happiness or success. What's really funny though, is that both of those people want the same thing. They both want happiness. Only the person that wants success will only allow themselves to be happy once they have achieved a certain goal. And so it's funny that everyone wants happiness, but happiness is not something that you can have. Happiness is not a consistent emotion. You can't be happy all of the time. You sort of sit at this base level of contentness. This, like, if you imagine like a graph, this is a fixed line, which you always come back to this base level of contentness. And when you're happy, it goes up, and then eventually you become accustomed to what you've got, and it fades back down. The reason I mention the graph is because a study was done, and if you're interested, you can go look it up, where people that won the lottery, they measured their rough level of happiness. And so before they won the lottery, they were around here. And then once they won the lottery, their dopamine, their happiness, are spiked, and then because they were immediately happy. And then they bought, maybe a nice car, a nice house, and it kept going up, or it kept having these, every time they bought something, they got a little spike, they got a bit of happiness. But eventually, after about 3 months, you sort of become accustomed to the fact that you have this money, and so the graph comes back down to your base level of contentness. And the same study was done on amputees. People that lost a limb, their base level of contentness was the exact same as the people that had won the lottery. And then when they lost the leg or the arm or whatever, it dropped. But then after 3 months, it basically came back to the same level of contentness. So regardless of whether you lost a limb or you won the lottery, you pretty much always come back to the same base level of contentness with your life. Which is great for understanding why people always tell you money won't bring you happiness, or money isn't everything. Because in a sense, they are right. Money will not bring you happiness, or at least not that level of happiness that you think it will. Because you will always come back down to your base level of contentness. So whether you are someone that's chasing just happiness as the goal for your life, or you're someone that's chasing success, you can never reach that goal. That's an impossible goal. And I think you should probably reframe what it is you actually want to do with your life. Now, if you are a person that can sit on a beach, lie in the sun, and that is you, you're good with that. That's just incredible. And in a way, I do envy you. But probably my audience, or at least people watching this video, will definitely probably relate more to me. If I were to sit on a beach, do absolutely nothing for about a week, I would probably go insane. I would not be happy. In fact, my happiness levels on that beach would start to go down because I would not enjoy that feeling of being unproductive. So let's talk more about the people that want to have success as the main goal for their life. Well, we've already established that most people want success to be happy because they think that if they're successful and they have lots of money, then they can buy a nice car or a nice house or whatever other shiny toy that you want, that you think is going to bring you happiness. And if you're going to become accustomed to whatever you get anyway, then that means your end goal can't be a supercar or a multi-million-dollar mansion. It can't be anything material. And because material things are just that, they're material. But we put so much status, we tie so much of our life towards working towards these things that generally don't matter. But everyone thinks they do. Everyone puts the cars and the watches and everything on a pedestal. Mainly because of this thing you're watching on right now, probably. I know some of you watch on the TV, that's pretty weird. Anyway, I do realise that social media has a very dark side, which is that you can constantly see everything that you don't have, want to have, and will probably never have. And that puts an awful lot of pressure, especially I think on this generation of people, where they're constantly exposed to all of the things that they are told from quite a young age now, that this is what makes a perfect life. You should have this sort of house, you should have this sort of car. And that really wasn't an issue back in your parents' day. You can ask them if you want, because everyone that was sort of just average never really dreamed that high. They never really saw anything other than what everyone else had. And that was fine. So they were more happy and more content with their life. Not that more people trying to achieve more is a bad thing. I just think a lot of people do it for the wrong reasons. And I'd also like to make clear that I think the internet is an absolutely wonderful place. I think it is amazing how much you can connect with other people that you didn't even realize existed, and how much you can learn from the internet. Like, there's so much knowledge out there. You can literally learn anything online now. It's honestly just an incredible place. I do obviously realize there is a dark side to it, but there's a dark side to every coin. And you just have to take the good with the bad, and focusing too much on the negative side of the internet means that you really can't enjoy all the positives that it has to offer. Like one of these videos, for example. So we are in a bit of a pickle when it comes to this, because we have so many people with mist pulled over their eyes that they cannot see reality. They cannot see that these things won't make them happy. They're chasing dreams that aren't theirs. They want things that they don't even know why they want them. They want a watch just because every other rich person has a watch. Like, it's madness. When is enough enough? How much more money do you need to make? How much more expensive do the houses need to get? How many more cars do you need? You're never going to be satisfied if that is the end goal. And I saw a really beautiful quote by Morgan Housel that just explained this perfectly. Success is not a goal, a journey, or a destination. If you get it wrong, it's a horizon. Each step that you take towards it, it runs one step further away. So then how do you get to the point where you can realize that your relative level of happiness probably is not going to change all that much once you achieve success, and yet still be incredibly driven to go after and to start the business and or get the job and achieve the goal? How do you do that? How do you balance both? Well, I can't answer that specifically for you. I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know how your brain works. I don't know what's inside your head. Thank God. What I can do is I can tell you how I view my life and how I frame things in my life, and then you can take inspiration, or you can take bits and pieces, or nothing at all if you don't want to, because everyone's life is different and everyone's in different circumstances. Things that apply to me might not apply to you. Just take what you can from what I'm about to tell you. But this is how I view my life. I know that I'm going to be rich. I know that I'm going to be successful, because I know I'm never going to stop. I know that I'm never going to quit. And I don't know if anyone's going to actually understand this, because this is really hard for me to explain to people. When I say I'm not going to stop, I mean I am not going to stop. I am going to be doing this for 60, 70 years. This is my plan. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm doing. I want to have a business. I want to live this life. This is the way I'm going to live. Because I want to do big stuff. Because I wouldn't be satisfied with a regular 9-to-5 job. I wouldn't be satisfied with an average lifestyle. When is enough enough? That wouldn't be enough for me. Because I have this drive to do big stuff, because I want to look back at the end of my life and go, do you know, I did everything I think I could have done. I want to go and travel the world. I want to see everything there is to offer. The number one feeling that I hate more than anything is regret. And so I try and minimize that as much as possible by just doing the stuff that I know I should be doing to get to the things that I know I want to get. Mainly things that you regret in your life, it's things you didn't do. And the main goal is the work. It's not the material things that come with it. Those are a byproduct of it, which are really, really nice to have. And you know, if you're successful, you're gonna have a lot of nice stuff. That's probably another reason to be successful, because you get nice stuff. Not because that's the goal, that's just a byproduct of it. I also think that doing these things will make me a better person, a stronger person. I want to try and be the best version of myself that I can physically be. And I saw a really, really incredible quote. A man has got 2 lives, and his second begins when he realizes he's only got 1. You have less time than you think. I guarantee you, you probably think you're going to live to 100. The average lifespan for a human, 75 to 80. That's it. It amazes me that people don't value their time as much as they should. But, I mean, you've got to realize that on your own. As you can probably infer by now, I don't believe in any religion. I am not religious, I'm not superstitious. I wholeheartedly believe that when you die, you die. That's it. By the way, if you have a religion, totally cool. I have zero issue with anyone. I completely respect that you believe what you believe. Totally cool. Live life how you want to live it. I don't care. The thing that does annoy me is when people try and push their beliefs onto me. And like, oh, you should believe in this, you should believe in... I don't believe in any of it, and I think you're probably never going to change me on that. On the topic of slightly controversial views, I have zero intention of drinking or smoking or doing drugs, anything. I don't even know if I can say drugs on YouTube, but if I can, I'll leave it on. And I don't think it would benefit my life in any way. I don't think it would make it better. In fact, I think it would probably make it worse. But again, you'll come to learn this about me. I don't care what you do. Live life how you want to live it. Don't let anyone else's opinions of what you should be doing or what should matter to you influence how you want to live. Like I'm totally cool with anyone that wants to drink and anyone that wants to party in their 20s and 30s. That's cool. To me, it doesn't make sense because I don't think you should waste the best, most driven, most energetic years of your life blackout drunk, but whatever. And if you do want to go drinking or partying, that's completely cool. But if you ask me to come with you, I won't be drinking and I'll probably not be going to the party because I just don't care. Well guys, that was a pretty intense video. I hope you enjoyed and I really do hope I improved your day. All right, I'll see you next time. So this week's video is sponsored, I'm just kidding. I'm actually here to shout out a subscriber, Toby1892, who last week I had an amazing conversation with, and he actually ended up presenting some of the ideas that I used in this video, and I said I'd give him a shout out, so here we are. Here's a shout out. Thank you, mate. You were such a big help to me, and you have just some really, really good ideas that I wouldn't feel comfortable claiming as my own. I don't think I made it exactly the way you would have made it if you've made the video, but everyone go to the comment section, give him some love. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.